All right, here we go. Do 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 do
Do do do do do do do do.
do do do. I think we're on.
Are we on? Are we live? Are we alive? You feel alive? Hey everyone.
It's Mike Meyers and Scott Jernigan. It's the Monday edition of the Coronavirus Mike Meyers live stream. Ask Mike Anything. The goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies on CompTIA certifications. So we concentrate mainly on
CompTIA IT Fundamentals Plus.
I always want to say
A plus?
iNet Plus. Do you remember iNet Plus?
No, it's been dead so long I don't remember.
Okay.
A plus, Network Plus, Security Plus, and we can go beyond that and into a whole bunch of other tech topics if you like. We stay away from religion and politics, but everything else goes.
I think we ought to start doing religion and politics.
Okay.
Scott and I always like to pretend, because like he pretends he's super left wing and I pretend I'm super right wing, but we're really pretty much on the money. What gets us in trouble is I just say inappropriate things. And
well,
Scott's very good at saying appropriate things.
right. This is actually true.
But
yeah.
we would basically hold up placards and or candles for the same causes in general. There's a couple of exceptions in there.
That's right. And because we're not discussing religion or politics, I won't go into those couple of exceptions right now.
And I'm not putting him in a half Nelson, so life is good. All right, so there's a couple of announcements I want to make here first. English
Speak,
is not my
speak.
first language today.
Speak,
okay,
Mike.
First of all, I need some help from you guys. In fact, I'm going to announce this twice. Let me announce it now because, as usual, nobody is here on time.
Except for all the people who are here on time.
Well, there's like 15 people. It's always so tiny for the first 10 minutes. I never understood that. Because they know I'm making all the dumb announcements. I should start giving things away. Anyone who shows up, free. Look under your chairs, people. No. We have to finish the Security Plus video series tomorrow. And I was hoping that we could sweet talk 5 or 6 of you guys maximum into helping, which would manifest as you guys, all it would mean is you guys join a Zoom meeting. And yes, your face would appear on Mike Meyers Security Plus video series, which means many hundreds of thousands of people will see you. So that's something you need to keep in mind. There will be some compensation. It's not going to be a lot, but there will be a compensation to this. But I need 5 or 6 people to show up. If you want to do this, all you've got to do is send me an email. Send an email to michaelm@totalsem.com and just say, yes, Mike, I'm willing to help out. The only thing I hope, I hope your English has got to be, understandable. We do present these videos in English, so sorry, guys. That's what we're teaching it all in, so that's the only requirement I have. And you can't be Zach because he doesn't have enough bilateral symmetry. I'm kidding, Zach. We'll take you too. Doesn't matter. Is he even on yet? Is that joke just totally being wasted? He's there. But seriously, guys, compensation is, I don't know. I'll pay, whoever shows up gets $200. And we'll work it out. I can do Venmo or something like that. And if we get 6 people, I'll give everybody a couple $100. It'll take about 2 hours of your time.
Great. What am I doing at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning?
You can do it too if you want, dude, but
As the co-author, I wouldn't get compensated. So why should I do it?
Because you get compensated every day.
Oh.
You're in my presence.
Oh, gosh, Mike. Shucks.
All right.
Oh.
So Scott has important things to say.
Email. When you email Mike about being in the show tomorrow, email him today. That way.
I'm going to have to hear like right now. Let me put that up one more time. Scott, I'm coming right back. I just forgot one little small thing.
All right.
Press the big one.
Mike, forgetting one little thing. Now suddenly I'm all alone. I'm so scared. Oh, thank you. Mike is back.
I just can't do it without my Altoids.
And I can't do it without my coffee.
There we go. Yeah, so if we could get some help from you guys, we'll pay everybody $200. How's that sound? Would you do it for $200 for 2 hours work? I would.
Yeah, why not? $100 an hour?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, and a chance to be famous. You can be discovered.
That's right. Or you could be Tullowit.
Who definitely is not going to volunteer. I can pretty much guarantee that.
Like, he's got a lot, got a lot of warrants,
He's in the witness protection program.
Can't go popping your head on videos when you've been, pointing the fingers at all your gang members.
Right.
All right, so that is May 25th, which is tomorrow, and we start at 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So the first 6 people or so who give me that they want to do this, I'm going to let them in. There will be, I'd like to get a nice balance I'd like to see some diversity here, so, we're going to have to stir it up a little bit. But other than that, especially if I know you already, you got a better chance of getting in. But I saw some new faces here. You guys are welcome to try as well. Always welcome. What else?
You said you had a second announcement.
Yeah, this was actually not very happy. Guys, I'm not healthy right now. I've been in the hospital multiple times recently with, I thought I was having a heart attack. It looks like I have, well, we're hoping it's a bad spine. So.
It's from sitting on these awful, awful chairs.
I hope that is the issue.
We're sitting on hard wooden stools.
But.
It's like our penance.
Yeah, so basically I'm going to try to keep the AMA up, but Scott and Dave may have to cover for me. I'm working as hard as I can to get my tests and everything outside of these, but do be aware. Mike's not at 100%. I will endeavor to persevere. Okay,
Okay.
That's all I got.
So turn your volume up just a little bit, Mike.
Turn my volume up?
Yours. Just yours.
Just me?
Just a hair.
Check 1.
Yeah, a little more.
More than that? Am I even doing the right one? Yes, I am.
I hope.
Hello!
Okay.
There, I'm in the red.
That's fine, but your normal voice, you're not.
All right. Well, I'll be Abby Normal then. Okay, so there we go. Yeah. So. It's going to be fun. Yeah, so basically the people who get this gig, you're basically going to be like, hey, Mike, I've got a question about SCADA, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And so we thought it'd be fun to try something like this. So cool, yeah, $200. Yeah. See how many people actually volunteer.
Oh, you know what?
What?
We're not getting anything on your mic. At all.
Well, my mic is up and running. Go ahead and entertain him, Scott.
All right, so let's see who's here. With that, going all Andre, really? Noon? A little bit, yeah, 2 hours. DBT WizTid at 1:09. Andre back again at 1. Yes. Excellent. Nigel, hey, good to see you. Andrew. DBT WizTid, yes. Tullowit, good morning. Alan Duggan, excellent. Jason Helms. Book should be out there. Jason. Connor Wellman. Nigel.
And Scott, we're both on mic 1.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah. You're the left of mic 1. I'm the right of mic 1. We're okay. Okay.
Are you on that one or are you on this one? Sorry, momentary technical difficulties. We had a guy come in earlier and we were adjusting and playing with stuff for the shoot tomorrow. And so we've come up with a few.
Check 1. Ooh. Check 1. Here, put your hand over your mic. Check 1. Yeah, that's me, dude. Whatever it was, we're okay.
Check one. Okay. So I'm picking up on your mic now.
Check 1.
Okay, you're way too hot.
I know I'm way too hot. I'm way too hot. All right, let's try this for a while. Sorry, guys. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, so I don't have any particular topics I need to cover
Now
today.
I should be back, right?
All right, so guys, do keep in mind the goal of this AMA is you ask me questions and then I answer them.
No, I should be back. Okay. No, it's fine.
We're okay.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
We're going to make it work. You guys can just listen to us with slightly off sound today.
What? All right.
All right.
All right, so anyway, guys, the goal of this AMA is you ask me questions and I answer them. The primary way you ask questions is by simply typing them into the chat. Now, what we recommend with the chat is go ahead and pop it out. I don't know if you're even aware that you can do that, but if you see the 3 dots on your chat at the top of the chat, you can pop it out. You have 2 settings. There's top chat or live chat. Make sure it's set to live chat. And then the last thing you might want to consider doing is toggle your timestamps to make sure your timestamps are visible. The reason we do this is twofold. Number one, sometimes it takes me a while to get to questions, so I'll actually say the timestamp out loud. That way you kind of know where I'm at, because, you know, I asked this question at 2:15 and it's now 2:40 and Mike's only at the 2:09 question, so that'll help you know where we're at. And then secondly, when we do competitions, it definitely makes a big effect. So we want you guys to be aware of that as well. So if you can do those things, you'll make our lives so much easier. Doug Hall, what time tomorrow? 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
So Patricia Grace, hi. DT Calgary, good to see you. Himanshu Singh. Oh, that's for first question at 2:08. You ready for one?
CLW Chang's here.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'm ready for anything.
Okay, 2:08. What are the points of difference between AMD and Intel? Which to buy?
You're not going to be challenged on any questions like this on a CompT exam, which would be A+, and no one's ever going to challenge. They may ask name two people who make CPUs, but why Intel versus AMD? Well, first of all, Intel and AMD have been competitors since the
dawn of computing.
Yeah, so for a long time. AMD sometimes is in the lead. Intel sometimes is in the lead. Right now, most people in the home desktop market consider AMD to be in the lead with their, I just went blank, Ryzen series of processors, which are very, very popular right now and tend to hit the real sweet spot in terms of price for the performance. Whenever you're taking a look at CPUs, I'm going to draw a chart that's facing you, okay? So down here is performance, and up here is price. So as things perform more and more, they go up in price a little bit, but there's always some point, and this has been true for 30 years now, there's always some point with the CPU market where you don't get much more performance, but you get a lot more price. And so I've always been a big believer in buying right at that curve. That's where I like to buy my CPUs. And so I tend to avoid the higher end CPUs. I'm not a Threadripper kind of guy. I don't think very many people are, to be honest with you. You'd have to be doing some real high performance processing to warrant a Threadripper, in my opinion. Even for gaming.
Yeah, I mean,
too many people spend money on the CPU when they need to be spending money on the GPU.
Right. But a solid like in my gaming machine at home, I'm running a Ryzen 5 3600X. Rocks everything all the way up.
They do a fine job. Yeah, they do a fine job. But so the big thing that is going to make me go AMD versus Intel is I'm going to be reading Ars Technica's and I'm going to be reading Tom's Hardware Guide and these different websites and look at the reviews. If you're going to be in hardware, you need to be at Ars Technica or Tom's Hardware. These are websites, folks. You should be there once a week. I am. I put them in my RSS feeds, all that kind of stuff. And you should be doing this too, where you're in the business. And you just keep on top of what people are talking about, CPUs, and where are we at on the TikTok of CPU developments. And right now, I'm buying AMD because the price performance is ridiculous compared to what Intel's putting out. And Intel's putting out fine CPUs. All right, the i9, even the i7s. I was about to say Sandy Lake. That's how dated I am. I have forgotten the latest.
I don't remember. Somebody will tell us.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 of them. You know, it's not like just one. But I did discover something. So the answer is it's price versus performance, which is what I choose this by. And right now, AMD, certainly in the desktop market, wins in a big way. So you heard that IBM came out with their 2 nanometer fab process?
Yeah, that's insane.
Well, here's the thing. I'm like, you can't do that. It's not possible. We don't have anything that can lithograph at that level.
Apparently
You're already, well, we don't.
Okay.
So here's what IBM's been doing for years, and I never knew this. IBM uses a vertical fabrication process, so their individual gates are very, very small, okay? So when they make a new gate, they compare it to what type of traditional flat gate would have to be made to do what this does. So
it's a marketing statement?
It's a marketing thing. So right now they're, and I'm not saying that they're pretty far down. They're in the 8-10 millimeter process size. But when they call it a nanometer.
Yeah.
But when they call it, it's not 2 nanometer.
It's the 2 nanometer equivalent.
A 2 nanometer equivalent for a flat pack type
Cool.
lithograph process.
Gotta love marketing.
Yeah, well, you know, the other problem is you know, trying to find radiation, you know, because we're tickling X-rays, buddy. So when you make a CPU, you're basically, it's kind of like making a silkscreen T-shirt. You're photo etching off different layers of silicon to make the individual transistors. And these transistors, as you can imagine, are ridiculously small. So when we're making silk screens, we can use different types of solvents to, you know, you can draw the shape in wax in essence, and then you put different things on it, and then you peel the wax off. But when you're doing photolithography, you need to take pictures of things and then zoom it down. And the problem is once we got past, people can argue about this, 20 nanometers, we were getting out of the range of light. You can't take a picture using regular light. So we've been going down into infrared. Infrared?
I don't know.
I always get this backwards.
I could ask my AMD engineer friend.
I think it's infrared. It's not ultraviolet. Infrared, and then we're even starting to get past that where we're starting to need X-rays.
Nice.
Now, so anyway, don't let IBM fool you. Their 2 nanometer lithographic process is more like 8, which is still impressive.
Yep.
Boy, you ask me one little question, I can just go on.
Right?
Well, you're talking about my great passion, which is CPUs, so I'm always going to have things to say.
So at 2:03, Justin Miller says, I passed my Network Plus exam this past weekend. Way to go, Justin.
Well done, sir.
That's excellent. And John, we'll remake the announcement probably in another half an hour. So hang tight. He came in late and it's like, what did I miss?
Missed all the good stuff.
All the good stuff, man. And that's the secret for passing every CompTIA exam.
Himanashu Singh. Good Irish name there. Do you love RGB? I like RGB. I'm not a big aesthetics person. I drive people insane. My system builds tend to be sloppier than a lot of other people's. I like to keep good airflow. And I got to tell you, the way desktop cases are being built today with the big under tray now, which was not common 10 years ago.
Right.
Or even 5 years ago, I would argue. So Dave says, X-rays, not infrared or UV. Well, Dave, I guarantee you, we go from ultralight to something to X-rays. So one of those was in there, has been in there in the past. So we did do infrared or ultraviolet. I just don't remember which one it was.
Gotcha.
Was it Tiger Lake, as I was thinking of? I think it was.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. Doug Hall at 206 says, Scott, your ITF plus Udemy video is outstanding.
It's okay. Yeah, that's good. It is good.
Thank you, Doug.
It is good.
Glad you enjoyed it. Way to go, Andrew. You'll be in. Lil Ricky at 206 says, hi, Mike. Thanks for what you do. Just getting started on my certification journey, and you were highly recommended on Reddit.
Reddit.
I hang out on Reddit. Mike doesn't hang out on Reddit too much anymore.
Yeah, I can't do Reddit anymore. So they used to have a fairly controversial subreddit called Fat People Hate.
Yeah.
And I got to be honest, as a fat person, I found it. Look, I don't need people telling me, you're great, Mike. You go, guy. I don't need that. I need people screaming at me, like drill instructors in the Marine Corps, right? That's what motivates me. Negative reinforcement motivates me. And well, it does me. And so I used to get on Fat People Hate, and it was a very motivational thing because these people like, fat people have dirty minds and they're, and I'd be like, yeah. And it motivated me. And I was like, oh, they took it away. I'm done.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Do I jump over a chair now? 3 people got that joke, Scott, and you and I were, where's Tolowit when we need him?
Right?
Wow, super static. Beautiful sounds. Ow, my ears.
Yeah, no.
Was that earlier?
Yeah, it was earlier.
Are we all fixed now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave said it's fine now. Elbow finally decided to join us. The party can now start. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess we can't talk about him now.
Aw. Uh-oh. DT Cal.
He's been out
Gary.
on a job site running 17 miles of Cat 6. That could be...
There could be a joke in there.
Yes, I thought it was a max of 90 meters, but whatever.
17 miles, come on.
That's assuming it's Ethernet, right? He could be,
Cat 6. What else are you going to put on it?
You could put all kinds of stuff on Cat 6. You could put raw video, HDMI. You can.
That's true, that's true.
It's probably Ethernet, but
Yeah. Okay, so DT Cal Gary, and we're at 2:09.
Okay.
So we're a few minutes behind. My printer only prints the header when I try to print a PDF document from Adobe PDF Reader. Why doesn't it print the rest of the document?
First of all, does it print other PDFs okay? And my other quick guess is that you're using an older printer that's still counting on the memory, and you should go into your Windows printer settings, and what is it, the send print output directly to printer, don't let it...
Turn off spooling or something?
Can never remember that setting.
You can also try downloading Foxit, F-O-X-I-T. It's an alternative to Adobe Acrobat, and it reads PDF files. That way you can see if maybe it's Acrobat itself that's having the problem or the issue with your printer. Again, just variations to try.
Yeah, it's under the settings, advanced settings, where it says spool your print documents so program finishes printing faster. Make sure it says start printing immediately. And then there was one other setting. Keep going, Scott.
So Jason, I said your book is on the way tomorrow. It's coming up from the office in the morning, and we'll sign it tomorrow and go. EMH says hello from Idaho.
I was in Idaho last August.
That's nice.
There is not a flat part of that state, man. You let a marble go in Idaho, it's going to make it to Montana. Well, you've been to Idaho.
I have.
You were in Pocatello.
I did, and I was there doing a train the trainer course for a government agency with
3 letters and guns.
3 letters and guns, yeah. And what's funny, of course, the rule with Mexican food if you're from Texas or California or New Mexico or Arizona is you don't eat Mexican food anywhere else besides those 4 states. Because it's just, for those of us who are born and bred down here, it's just really awful anywhere else. So, of course, my students in Pocatello, Idaho said, oh, we're going to go take you to lunch at the best Mexican restaurant in Pocatello. And I'm just like,
Ketchup.
oh, this is going to be painful. But of course, I've said, oh, that sounds great. Because,
And what happened?
it was fantastic. It turns out like all these potato farmers migrate up during harvest season. And they're all from like northern Mexico. And it was this magnificent food. It was amazing. It was a stunning.
Do you remember when you and I were drugged to a Mexican restaurant in Manhattan? Do you remember this? I remember this. It was 10 years ago, and I remember that you're begging for jalapenos.
Oh, that's right.
Please.
And they're like, what?
Jalapenos?
Yeah. They at least finally came up with some pickled ones.
They did. All right, what do we got here?
Okay, so Dave has come. We're going back to chips, man.
Okay.
So, extreme ultraviolet lithography.
So it's ultraviolet.
Yeah.
I had a feeling I was going the wrong way on the. Think about that. So if it's infrared, like a red shift with stars, means they're going away. So in the Doppler effect, the wavelength is stretched out. So it would be ultraviolet because that would bring the wavelengths tighter together.
There we go. Clarification. Because, that's important to know as an A+ certified technician.
It has nothing to do with A+, but I think it's important.
It's cool. It's good to know the tech.
All right. We got lots of questions here. Let's start digging.
Okay, sorry. Like, Doug Hall. What? I just told him.
Okay.
Andrew Hutz at 210. Mike, on the topic of types of attack, can you explain cross-site scripting as well? Uh-oh. That means we missed one. Cross-site scripting?
Go ahead. So cross-site scripting is trivial. I mean, you could make a lot more out of it, but the only thing that CompTIA is going to be interested in is that you have some form of scripting methodology that allows you to get to other sites, either by reading other sites' cookies, which is really where cross-site scripting started, but it's evolved into more than that, where you can activate a script at one web page that goes to other sites. Okay. That's really all it is.
Okay. So let's go back to his earlier question that I missed. Can you explain SQL injections? I'm having some trouble on types of attacks in the practice questions.
Sure. SQL injections are easy. Michael Smyer, what is it? Little Johnny, he'll know what I mean.
Tables.
Little Johnny Tables. Can you pull that up, Scott? Here, I'll do it.
Yeah, you do it.
Hang on, I'm gonna have an answer for you, but first we're gonna have a little laugh.
And if you've never actually seen XKCD, it's a hilarious, geek-oriented cartoon strip.
Very much so. Let's see if I can do this time. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. Blink. All right, so this is XKCD, which is a wonderful, wonderful site. Very, very funny. And Scott's about to press a button and do naughty things. Oh, all right, I always forget about that. So anyway, here, we can read this. Hi, this is your son's school. We're having some computer trouble. Oh dear, did he break anything? In a way, did you really? I can't read it. I'm gonna have to get a lot closer.
Did you really name your son? I can't even read it.
Robert Drop Table. Oh yes, Little Johnny Tables we call him. Well, all right, so anyway, the joke is a SQL injection. So what's happening here, if you have a database on a website, in all probability, it's going to be some form of table database that can accept SQL queries. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's the only way to do it anymore is, whether you're using MySQL or whatever it might be. If you have databases, you're going to have a SQL interface. So a SQL injection, basically, you get to a form, and instead of typing in your first name, you start typing in, join tables, and you're trying to insert true SQL commands into places where no SQL command should be.
Right.
And that's what a SQL injection is. SQL injections are distinct because you're going to have, join, enter, open parentheses. These are SQL commands. And if you read up on, honestly, the thing to do is give yourself 3 hours to understand SQL. You're not going to need any more than that. And there's all these wonderful sites on there where you can just practice querying SQL databases. You can use Excel. Excel accepts, Microsoft Excel tables accept query inputs. SQL query inputs, it does. Or you could just slap something up like MySQL or something like that and just play with it a little bit. It's amazing, to be able to use that. And that's what SQL injections are.
So let's all go all the way back to 201 because we skipped an important one.
What? Okay. Siegfried van der Wee. Oh, Crazy Homebody Girl, passed her Security Plus.
Yay.
Well done. Yay.
That's
well
awesome.
done. Now go get a job. All right.
That's awesome. Okay, let's get back to where we were. Give me just a second.
Justin Miller passed my Network Plus this past weekend.
Yes, we already congratulated
I'm
you.
going to do it again.
Excellent.
I'm going to do it again. I'm going to give Crazy Homebody Girl another one too.
Yay.
Just try to stop me. Good coffee, Mike.
Justin Miller, 211, says, how soon after passing certification should I pursue the next certification? Soapbox on.
The most important thing you need to be doing, Justin, is getting a job. Go get a damn job, okay? Certifications are things you do on the nights and on the weekends. I don't want to hear people like, well, I'm going to get these 3 certifications and then I'm going to get a job. First of all, you're going to be very disappointed. I get more worried. There's so much demand for IT people right now that when I hear people going through these presetting for themselves these rules that make no sense whatsoever, that I start to worry about, do they have other issues? Well, let's use Dave Rush for an example.
Okay.
Dave Rush is wildly unattractive. I mean, kind of stop traffic, not pretty. ¿Cómo se llama not pretty en español?
No es bonita.
No. Feo. Anyway, so it would have been funnier if I'd have just said it. So anyway, but Dave Rush gives good interview. He does. And he knows how to talk and all these other things that help make for a great presentation. And I worry when people are going for certs and not getting jobs, I start going, what's wrong with you? Do you have bilateral symmetry? Do you go like this every time you inhale? Or
What do you mean?
Gail the snail. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Why do I even talk about pop culture with you?
I don't know. I don't know. We can talk about comic books.
Can we?
We can.
Oh, okay. Avengers. God, I watched.
Is that all you got?
Isn't that all there is? Just the Avengers and the Silver
Oh.
Surfer.
Oh my. Don't watch the movie.
How do you go from Trotsky to frickin' Fantastic Four? I don't even understand this leap you go through. You go
from Fantastic
You go
Four
from Nietzsche
to Trotsky.
You go from Nietzsche to what's
The New Mutants.
Mr.
Are you really going to say Mr. Fantastic?
No, which is a good one though. The one that's a gal now, Mr.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. I actually watched one of those. She was funny.
She was.
She was
She's a good
pretty
actress.
funny.
All right.
So I need you to go get a job is the important thing. Now, you did ask it you pursue your next certification because you already have a certification that is of interest to you. Certifications build on each other based on your own personal desires and passions. So maybe you're a Cisco person, then start going for Cisco. Don't wait at all. Why wait at all? Maybe you want to start doing Microsoft administration, go for that. Maybe you want to start going for the cloud, go for that. Maybe you just don't want to do anything for a year. Trust me, I've had plenty of years where I took no certs at all, but I will also tell you this, in those years when I wasn't going for certs, I was getting a paycheck. So that's all I have to say on that.
Okay, so EMH, we're at 2:15, and then a follow-up question at 2:16 is asking the new question, AMD/Intel or new ARM M1?
As I've said on here before, the M1 is really impressive. I still haven't played with one.
I almost bought a Mac
Well,
Mini today.
we should just get one, but the problem is you got nothing to compare it to, right? And then the other problem is it's on a Mac, so a lot of things that you'd want to really slam it up against in terms of applications.
Photoshop. You could do.
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
Premiere.
Yeah, I guess you could. But if this architecture, this new ARM architecture, which seems to be very, very frugal on voltage and very, very frugal on memory, if this actually starts to come into play, then yeah, it's going to be an obvious next step.
Yeah.
I'm far more interested in solid state batteries right now. Scott? You're not up on... Come on, Mr. Scott's like the only person I know who actually owns a fully electric car that isn't, what's one that starts with a T?
Tesla. Yeah.
So you've got a Nissan Leaf?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Anyway, everybody else has a hybrid. Scott's like, smoking. I do not need such things. Can I borrow? Scott's the only guy I know who walks around with a 250-foot extension cord.
Yeah, well, that's true.
He's got an outlet for Great Britain in there. I was like, when is this going to happen? He's going to just hook one end of the power plug to a boat going over. Say, stop and,
The wiring on the exterior of our
I literally
office
cannot
building.
think of the... Doesn't matter.
The wiring on the exterior of our office building is awful. We didn't know it was awful until I drove my car the 20 miles down to the office and I plugged it in and blew half the circuits in the office. It was great.
That's why you plug it into the dentist next door, dude. He's got to have 20 amps, 40 amp circuits there to run all those.
Yeah. It was exciting.
Or FedEx.
Yeah, right.
We have a FedEx next door. It's like, yeah,
Sure.
plug into those. You walk in with a blower. Do you mind if I
Just plug in just for a couple hours.
seems to be is that a 220 plug? Oh, What do you mean you don't have a 220 outlet? Just unplug the dryer.
Okay, so Andrew coming up with another. He warned us, right? You ready? Difference between a code injection and a command injection.
I would say there's probably not much. A code injection is probably going to be that you figured out through reconnaissance what actual code is running on a particular system, and so you're actually running the native code of whatever that might be. Versus a command injection is where you're literally just typing in dir instead of typing in the last name. And you're hoping that one of these is going to force it to break, and then either the system reboots or the system can often automatically give you rights and privileges that you're not supposed to have.
So Patricia Grace at 217 asks,
Patricia Grace.
what are some key differences between some of the different IoT technologies, like Zigbee, Z-Wave, and LP-WAN? In particular, what do they do that cellular doesn't? They're short range.
Once you start getting to any of these packetized signal systems, they all work surprisingly similar to Ethernet. They'd use CSMA command of CSMA-CA. They all pretty much do. Some of them, like Zigbee, are encrypted by default, but that's going to be true for Wi-Fi, next generation of Wi-Fi 6 coming up. Yeah, I mean, the big thing, distances, power of the transmitters. what type of security they have, but they all basically have some kind of MAC address in them. They all basically have, if they're IP aware, which most of those are that Patricia's listed, are all going to have an IP address built into them. What do they do that cellular doesn't? Nothing. They have different kinds of securities and things like that that would be inappropriate for a traditional cellular network. But yeah, Patricia, if I were to lay out a Zigbee frame versus an 802.11 frame versus a Z-Wave frame, and I'm actually not familiar with LP WAN, I guarantee you that these packetized data would have a lot of similarities. Where things do become more interesting on a lot of these things is when you get to higher levels of the OSI and how they manifest that. Mm-hmm. Like a great one, for example, is going to be Zigbee. Zigbee devices are pretty bad at self-configuration.
Okay.
Most of the time, if you're going to install a Zigbee-compliant hot water heater or a Zigbee-compliant washer and dryer, because that's the kind of stuff that's going to use Zigbee, you usually have to have some technician to come in and do all the configurations with specialized tools. With other ones, they're more automated. Then that's where a big difference comes into play.
If I could type. So, new face, Fox 21. Welcome.
Fox 21.
Welcome from South Africa, no less.
So Fox 21 means he likes playing fighter pilot games.
Okay.
Well, Fox 21 means that you've fired a Sidewinder.
Okay.
Go ahead. You know what Maverick means?
That was Tom Cruise's nickname in Top Gun.
When they say Maverick, that means
it was a cultural reference.
It was that. It was a 30-year-old cultural reference, but you're doing good. 1994 was just yesterday for people like you. And me too, I'm kidding. But no, Maverick means I'm firing the gun. Maverick.
Huh, okay.
Play more simulators, dude. You'd know these things too. I'm surprised Dave Rush hasn't typed something that, well, Mike and Armstrong. But he's from South Africa. Pinotage, yay. You know what Pinotage is?
It's a type of wine.
It's a type of grape.
Oh, gosh.
The South Africans invented their own grape. Swear to God, Pinotage. Fox 21, back me up. Tell Scott Jernigan, yes, Pinotage is our own unique grape that we invented.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay. So Eric Sizanauskas says he failed the
Oh, no!
Now.
All right, so Eric, whenever you fail an exam, look, number one, I'm sorry it happened to you, okay? It's not fun to fail an exam, but other than cost and time, it's not that big of a deal. Nobody cares. So I'm assuming that you're here in the States, Eric. What I would recommend you do, Eric, more than anything else, is get back on the saddle as quickly as possible. You need to make sure that you have practice questions. Starting now until you pass your 1001, you need practice questions. You can use mine, you can use other people's, better yet, you can use both. But you need practice questions. And Eric, I don't hear too many people who fail more than twice using my practice questions.
Right.
But that would be my big question. My big challenge to you, Eric, is were you using good practice questions? Sorry about that, man. Get back on it, re-register, put your money down, do it again.
So Nigel ordered the book that I recommended, The Complete Computer Trainer. We were talking about teaching, and
When were we doing this?
Probably Discord. Oh, speaking of which, do you have a Discord slide? Or perhaps Dave Rush would put up the link to the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel.
Yeah, just so you guys know, we don't have anything. But our friend Jose Braden set up a Discord channel. It's called the Unofficial Mike Meyers Channel. It is a good place to connect to. And somebody will put it up there so we can look at it. And please join us on the Discord channel. It's a 24/7 Discord channel, but it tends to get the most audience immediately after our presentations on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So usually around 4 o'clock Central Daylight Time, people tend to jump on there, and I'd recommend it highly. We're putting together a World of Warcraft guild.
Yeah.
Eventually. I want to get Toluit to be in charge of this or somebody. Get Alex. I will bet Alex does not game. Alex, are you a gamer at all? Is she a gamer?
No.
I didn't think so. And the reason is Jose Morales, you're not fat, Mike. Sorry, man. Jose, señor guapo. No, está gordo. Está guapo. You live in Texas.
Es muy bonito.
Muy well, thank you for making it in the masculine, at least. Go ahead, man.
I'm laughing. Sometimes the things you guys say in the chat are very, very funny, but I can't necessarily repeat them.
Or we'll never get done.
That's right.
I Ride Dirt. It's just a great name.
It is a great name.
Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, is here.
Yes.
Don't you remember Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman?
Yes.
Jane Seymour played it?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you remember a cultural... Ooh.
I know, right?
Ooh. Yo tengo en un... No, tú. Tengo en un mustachio muy guapo.
You gotta keep working on your Spanish there, buddy.
That's why I do this. I'm tired of speaking garbage Spanish, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a better term for it, but I'm nervous to use it.
Oh, yeah, no, don't use that one.
And so this is the thing. I'm making myself speak Spanish more on purpose. And sorry, you guys, unless you're a Spanish speaker, you're going to hear more and more of this because I'm just trying to work on it more.
Okay. What do we got here?
Even Dave Rush doesn't like my Spanish. You don't like gourds? You like guap? Read here.
I'm reading it. I'm reading it.
You're up here. Your mouse is up here. And I'm like, that's...
My mouse is over here on the actual chat feed.
Well, you answer doctor questions. Fat people are very hard to get. They are. It's hard to roll them into the van.
Oh.
That Mike is so fat, every time he falls down, he rocks himself to sleep trying to get back up.
Do you know anything about Blender?
Yeah, do you remember when I was playing with Blender a couple years ago?
So Andrew Seed actually asked, of course he asked you to teach him about Blender, but if you could just discuss what Blender is and what it does.
Blender is a 3D animation tool that's completely free. It is wildly complicated, which is kind of the joy of it. It's well recognized, and considering the tool is absolutely free, yeah. It makes 3D animations.
So for those of you who joined a little late, the three little vertical dots in the top right corner of the chat window, you can click there and turn on the timestamp, and we'll say what time the question, because we're always behind the questions, so that if you think we skipped your question, and I say, oh, at 2:24, Andrew Seed asks, so then you'll know that when you posted at 2:33 that we missed your question. We actually hadn't gotten to it yet. So anyway, turn on the timestamp. We'll let you know where we are in the live chat, and we'll go from there. And it's perfectly fine to ask a question twice in case we skip you. So.
Does going through multiple gigabit routers at a location affect video streaming noticeably? No, because usually you go through 3 gigabit routers, but then as you go out, you're going through some 100 megabit connection for most people.
Cool. So Jim Brown asked at 2:26. Jim Brown, this is Jim Brown.
I got it.
Jim Brown in Japanese. Question for Mike. Which OS do you like better, Windows 10 or Mac OS?
Windows 10, but mainly because I know it well. I've certainly run with Mac OS, and I like it just fine. they're different. They're different operating systems for different attitudes of people. To me, Macs are more important when you just want one way to do something that works fine. So for desktop systems, it's fine. He said Windows 10 versus
Mac OS.
All right, so we're talking desktop then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, works. It's good. I got no problem with it.
So 226 Fox 21 asks, Mike, what ebook would you recommend for CompTIA A+ exam?
Well, I would strongly recommend the McGraw-Hill All-in-One A+ Certification Exam Guide.
By Mike Meyers.
Edited by Scott Jernigan. 10th edition, right?
Yeah, and you can get it on Kindle, or you can do. We actually sell an actual ebook version. I think the Kindle is both platforms are great. So if you already have a Kindle app, then you can use it on your phone or whatever. The ebook we sell is built into our training hub, and so you need an internet connection to access it. So those are the differences.
Oh, the other thing is if you're going to be using like my videos and my practice questions, you probably ought to, and you want a book, you probably ought to get my book, whether it's ebook or paper book, because they all kind of follow along. It's not a perfect follow along, but they do follow along.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so just keep moving.
Yeah, just keep rolling here.
Move along here.
Yep.
Do not, Lalo Towers.
Hello, everyone. Mike Scott.
Mind sharing any references for finance topics and IT budgeting infrastructure for a preset? I wouldn't have a clue. Lalo, it's just not an area I've ever had to deal with. And I know it's an important area, because it's like, you want me to spend how much? You know what I mean? Or like you want to sell somebody a new product and you have to budget in costs and infrastructure and things like that. Lalo, I apologize. I have no resources available to you for the finance issues of IT. As an IT guy, my job is to go up to the finance people and go, if we don't have this, we're going to be behind the times. And then they just say yes. It's good to be the president.
That's right. So at 2:31, Andrew Hutz asks another Security Plus question. What's the difference between a buffer overflow and an integer overflow?
Not much. So an integer overflow is a buffer overflow, but an integer overflow is going to be attacking a specific type of buffer. Remember, when you're storing data, you want to use as little space as possible. So an integer is typically going to be any number between negative 32,000 and positive 32,000, whole numbers. And depending on what development tool language you're using, the buffer space to store those variables is very small compared to, say, here's another kind of variable, which is just anything. We don't know if it's going to be numbers, it might be words, we have no idea how big it is. So those end up having very large buffers and very large data structures to store them, which I can't. String might be an example of one. The only thing we know about string is that we're probably not going to do any mathematicals on it. And again, this varies depending on what type of language you're dealing with. So a buffer overflow basically means a bad guy is going to go after one kind of buffer or another to force the thing to overflow. If the buffer overflows, if we're a good attacker, then it will cause the system to reset, hopefully. Or it could put the system into a bizarre place where, say, it just drops back to a command prompt. All kinds of stuff like that. So an integer overflow means to attack integer variables so that, what?
I was just adding a little bit.
We're good.
Read it. Okay.
I'm going to stay with that. So that's the difference.
Okay, cool.
Integer overflow, you try to, in an integer, you try to put, 13.1495 times 27, Integer values don't like stuff like that. Now, you should have good error checking on your inputs to prevent these things from happening, but a lot of times we don't.
So Jim Brown has a question at 2:33. I recently was promoted. Congratulations. Thanks largely to your courses.
Even more congratulations.
I'm now having trouble. Handling the client management side of my role. Any ideas for staying organized? Managing all the clients' asks. Managing all clients' asks.
You could do what I do, and that is because I'm ridiculously bad. I could manage computers fine. I can't manage computers or customers or anything else like that. There are entire groups of people that have names, hidden names like bookkeeper or, the gal at the front who's really good at this. Yeah. Let's hire somebody who can help you. Andrew Seed, you didn't answer my question. Andrew Seed.
We just did. We just did.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's when I did the push for getting timestamp on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All good.
Alex Aston, anybody know the difference between a support technician and a support specialist? There is no difference, Alex. When it comes to titles in the IT world, most titles have absolutely no meaning whatsoever. See, Alex, I'd love to add, it's like, why is he asking this question?
Right.
What's happened in Alex's life that he needs to understand just between a support technician and a support specialist? My guess is going to be that Alex is in a business where there's a difference. So within one business, you're going to have to see what they call the difference, because as far as I'm concerned, there isn't any difference. All right, so Jason Helms is going to help with the Zoom. How many? Do we have enough people on board?
We probably already have more than the 60 you asked for. Why don't you go ahead and make the announcement again?
I will. All right, so guys, I'm actually need a little help, and I need about 6 people. I might move it up to 8 people. But what I need, and this is for tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time, is I need 6 to 8 people who will act as students in a Zoom meeting, okay? You'll be on Zoom. And just ask questions, and we will hand you the questions. All you have to do is read them. And you read the questions, and then me and Don LaChance will answer them. Don LaChance is the co-author, the co-SME on the Security Plus 601 video series. So, and I'll pay you $200. So whoever I choose, and guys, I just need to get a nice group of people. It's like a little diversity. It'd be nice to, have a couple of gals in there, por ejemplo. Yeah, so I'll pay you $200. Might end up as a credit on Amazon, for some of you folks, depending on where you're at.
Right.
But, send you a Venmo credit or Cash App or something. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
But the bottom line is, send me an email. Send an email to michaelm@totalsem.com, and let me know if you're interested. I haven't even looked.
And send it today.
Yeah, this is for tomorrow, guys.
Right.
Tomorrow.
2 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday. So expect to spend a couple of hours. And semi-casual, like work attire type thing, as opposed to beachwear.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, nothing fancy. No suits.
no words on your tops, whatever you decide to, little messages that people want to sneak in.
Right. Yeah. No arrows that say "I'm with stupid." That's just not cool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we got 8. I'll take more. All right. Especially if you're a gal. So Patricia, Crazy Homebody Girl, Alex, we could use a couple more ladies on there. See, I'm all for diversity. Look at me.
You are for diversity.
I'm woke.
You're awesome.
I'm woke.
Woke.
What?
I was never asleep.
That's true.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. I super scrolled. The feed does this sometimes. I'll look at my mouse and the entire feed will jump. And it'll be 10 minutes later than where we were at. So, if I didn't get back far enough, we might have skipped your question.
We'll always get there. And guys, if we miss a question, just type it again. Okay? Let's just start here. Alex Rodel at 235. Wouldn't you want to be absolutely confident that you know what and how to perform jobs before getting a job? Absolutely not, Alex. You will never be ready for any job you get in IT ever. That is utterly impossible. It doesn't happen that way. As a matter of fact, in life, you'll rarely get a job where you're completely qualified and competent to do any job they want. It's called OJT, on-the-job training. What you do need to understand is the basic concepts, so when somebody asks you to change an IP address, you know what an IP address is. And when somebody says, I need you to change the IP address on this camera, that you'll go, I'll bet it has a built-in web browser that'll allow me to change the IP address.
Right.
And you can guess and figure it out. So I must disagree with you. Go work. That's the important thing. 237, Lionheart. Hey, Mike, you know any good side hustles for a certified tech to make extra money? Sure. Fix anybody's computer.
Yeah.
You know? You're probably, the moment people start knowing you're a technician, you're already people coming up and asking you to do things for free. I don't provide any free IT support. Well, unless you're like a family member or something, and you got to be a close family member too. I get cousins pop up. Hey, no.
I provide tech support for my parents.
Side hustles. Yeah, side hustles. System builds are always fun. There's always somebody looking for something like that.
Right.
You know, even starting out here in the U.S., put an ad in Craigslist and just set up an ad and throw it out there once a day into Craigslist. I'll do custom system builds. You'll get one or two people a month. All right. Now that's not enough to make much money, but that'll get you going.
It's a side hustle. It's soda money.
System repairs is a big one. People always like, well, I'm not qualified to fix a laptop. Yeah, you are. Trust me, you're more qualified to fix the laptop than the people actually fixing the laptop. Don't do warranty business because you can't get it. What else would be a good side hustle? Tolowit has a great side hustle.
Yeah, he does.
And he's doing conversion of VHS and stuff like that.
Photographs.
Photograph
Lots of
scanning,
photographs.
things like that. Great little side hustle. In fact, if Tolowit was in Houston and not in Hawaii, I'd be giving him business right now. I got a bunch of VHSs I got to buzz through. You know, the thing is they actually sell a VHS player that plugs right into the red, white, and yellow, the
RGB?
It's not RGB. Whatever that is. And
RCA.
RCA, thank you. And I'm gonna buy one.
That's cool, because I have a ton of VHS tapes.
Oh, now, yeah. Remember what I said?
It'll be your side hustle, Mike.
There you go. Thanks, buddy. That would be some of the things I'd come up quickly. The other thing that comes into play a lot of times, just because you're good at PCs, you end up being able to do sound. You'd be surprised how much video production and computers, those skill sets overlap a lot. You may not know much about lighting or sound or video, but you know a lot about computers. And a lot of times just having somebody who, here, plug this HDMI connector into this weird box can be wonderfully helpful. There's just for a couple of starters.
Okay, so at 240, I ride dirt. That's often what I think of your chapters, my friend. I ride dirt says for the 1002, what are some of the best ways to memorize the minimum system requirements for different versions of Windows?
Rote. There is no cute, clever way to do it that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Oh, God. Matt, what's a good mnemonic to remember the 7 layers of the OSI?
So same answer, really. Flashcards are going to be your friend.
Well, he said a mnemonic.
Oh, mnemonic.
Oh, come on, Dave Rush. This is where he's useful. A mnemonic, you know. Every good boy does fine for music.
All cows eat grass.
All cows eat. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to know one for OSI. I don't remember it anymore. Man, I'm sorry, bud. I do it so much, you know. I just.
Okay, so here's a good one. Poor Dave needs to seek psychoanalysis. So physical, data link,
Oh, now you started. Go for it.
network, transport,
Yee.
session, presentation,
Yipper.
and application.
Look at you.
Poor Dave needs to seek psychoanalysis. Or all people, if you want to go the other direction, all people seem to need data.
These are not common.
processing.
Dave Rush is on one of those mnemonic websites right now.
No, these are the ones he used in class.
No.
I've seen him do it.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Because he did the Poor Dave
There's
one.
more popular ones than the ones that Dave Rush just put up there.
Please don't throw sausage pizza away.
Yeah, that's something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's one I think of. Dave says, I've been using these for years. All right, moving along. We're at 242.
Please do not throw sausage pizza away. You got to do it do not don't. Otherwise, you just lose the network layer.
I've just never been a fan of mnemonics. To me, I memorize the stuff. Now, to do more than memorize, I use it. Alex is like, nope. Okay, I asked.
Right?
Fox Learns IT at 244. Just want to say thanks, Mike. Passed both A+ exams.
Yay.
Go get a job. Eric,
Come on, you can do it.
I'm not going to even try. Eric C. So Eric does have my practice questions. Eric, I got to tell you, man, I have extreme confidence. Remember, the number one reason people fail CompTIA exams is test anxiety. The number two reason people fail CompTIA exams is they know too much. So those are the top two reasons people fail CompTIA exams. So you might want to look into those two particular issues. So, sorry, man. E. White, that's what Maverick means. What does goose mean? Goose means you're going to die before the end of the movie.
Wow, you went all cultural reference on us.
Yeah, and you got it.
I did.
It's amazing, isn't it?
You know, because the 90s were great.
The 90s were good for me, man. That's the most acid I've ever seen anybody take at one time.
Chaco. ¿Dónde están mis pantalones?
Mi pantalones están aquí. Mira.
Juicy.
Juicy. Yeah. Get the questions.
Sorry. Okay, lots of people talking amongst themselves. I'm getting there. Alex X. I'm not going to try that one either.
You know, Alex, are you Mexican by any chance? That looks definitely like a
Aztec
native.
name.
It's an Aztec name. Which Network Plus lab would you recommend? The one that goes with the Network Plus book you're using. Seriously. I have lab books, Alex, and we always have one that accompanies whatever my Network Plus book is. So that would be the one to use. Mike Meyers Network Plus lab book. Hit enter, it'll pop up. Here we are.
Okay.
Silvio Ferreria. To start in cybersecurity, what should I start in CompTIA A+ certification first? Should I start on A+? Yeah, the problem is that, Silvio, if you're this early in the process, it's hard to say. You're not going to get a lot of knowledge out of A+, which will be used in your daily work in IT security. But it is a very, very good, people should understand systems. I think they should. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen people run into problems that are good network people, but because they don't know how to use a screwdriver and they're afraid to open cases, they get frozen up sometimes. But the trick is that you probably want to look at Network Plus first if you're not sure. Andrew Seed, I want to join. Okay, so Andrew Seed, you need to, guys, if you want to be in on this, you got to send me an email. Send an email to michaelm@totalsem.com. We got a lot more than 8 now, which is great. So michaelm@totalsem.com. I'll give you guys a second to write that down. All right.
All right, so Fox 21 at 2:59. We're only 10 minutes behind.
That's
Not bad. Mike, which do you think is the best Microsoft IT job position to begin as a beginner? Help desk or IT field technician?
If you're a people person, probably help desk. If you're more into the technology, IT field technician. But I don't think Microsoft has field technicians anymore. Unless you're I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I would go with a field technician job if you can get them. The problem you have, like here in the United States, most of the field technicians are not Americans, and they get on these H-1B visas.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are folks with like doctorates and master's degrees from like the Philippines and stuff like that. And they're using it as a way just to get in to the States. So unfortunately, like Dell in particular has very overqualified people, extremely overqualified people handling first level technician work. Andrew Hutz, I'll wear my yarmulke.
I like it. Okay, so here's a good question.
Yes, Siegfried, if you've, we need some gals. So I've got exactly one gal so far. So yes, Siegfried, all I'm asking is that if somebody can speak English well, that's all I'm asking, nothing else. Or at least sound like you speak English well. And then we'll split up some questions. We got about 50 questions that we're going to split up. And then you guys ask the questions, and me and Dan LaChance answer it. So yes, Siegfried, you are welcome to get your wife to send an email too. Andrew Hutz, you're welcome to wear your yarmulke.
And Keisha, send Mike an email.
Where's Keisha?
It comes up later in the feed.
Keisha Green, you know I love you. You're always welcome to join in too.
So at 3:01, E. Madi asks, master's degree or certification?
Master's degree if you can do it. Certifications are great, but master's degrees are always better. Because if you have a master's degree, you can still throw some certs on top of that.
That's right.
Crazy Homebody Girl, I'd be emailed to help with the Zoom girl, with the Zoom call. Okay. So Crazy Homebody Girl, I'm assuming your real name is not Crazy Homebody Girl.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh, it's true.
It's little like, and she's married to Little Johnny Tables.
All right. Oh, my goodness. All right. Excellent. Yes, we do have many, many people now. All right.
Okay.
I'll just throw everybody's name in there and
we'll figure it out.
Crazy Homebody Girl, unless everybody else here has male names. So JD, I don't know if...
That's probably Jean Dorival.
Oh. Oh, that's right. I see you. Crazy Homebody Girl, I see you. Thank you. Okay. All right. Moving on.
So at
10.
3:09, Garan Rana, I just bought your 10th edition
Thank you.
book.
Okay.
And is there any advice on how to study the material efficiently?
Sure. Everybody has different ways to do it. I think in order to pass any certification, you need 3 tools. Number 1, you need videos. Number 2, you need a book. And number 3, you need practice questions. I feel that those 3 tools are necessary for you to pass any IT certification, not just mine, not just CompTIA, anything. Now, how you use those tools, that's really up to you. Some people are visual learners, they like to concentrate on videos. Some people are readers. Some people are kinesthetics, okay? The nice thing is that my books, my videos, and my practice questions are broken down by the same chapters. It's not a perfect one-to-one tracking, but it's pretty close. And then, like, for example, you might be the person who enjoys reading. So you're going to go through and read chapter 1. And then you might want to watch the video for chapter 1 and then do some practice questions for chapter 1. Or you might be the type of person who wants to read the whole book and then watch some videos. Everybody's different. The important thing is that you want to experiment. You want to do it in smaller pieces. I mean, if you're really the type of person who has to watch everything through all the way, then go for it. But everybody's going to have different ways to do it. But basically, there's going to be some amount of book, some amount of video, and then some amount of practice questions to practice what you've learned. Okay? My practice questions can be broken down by chapter. They can be broken down by objectives, all kinds of stuff. So the question is, Garan, is that you have to know yourself. And if you don't, you're going to have to practice and try different things.
Okay.
So Harshit Kot Verma. Hi, sir. Today I joined your CompTIA Network Plus course on Udemy.
Awesome.
Welcome aboard. There's Jean. Jean Dorival at 310. Mike, how do I go about getting the sign? Oh, Lord.
I just
John, we'll work on that, buddy.
I just posted Kathy Yale's contact information.
310, Crooked JS. To what Mike said, totally agree with the phrase, you can't protect what you don't know. Be a sponge and learn all you can. Absolutely. Harumph.
Nawaddle. Yeah, okay, there we go. It means B.
What's Naruto? What group is that?
Aztec.
That's Aztec?
I'm almost for sure.
So, Alex, we're not sure. Is Naruto Aztec?
Nawaddle.
Nawat. We're just curious. Mainly because, like most Americans, we end up going down to the Yucatan all the time. And, all the folks down there, a lot of them don't speak Spanish. They speak,
Whatever the Mayan
native languages.
Yeah. Alex.
Alex, I'm hitting up my wife. She's a pretty female. Well, you married her, so I'm hoping you would say that.
Yeah, right?
Alex is like, Mike, you already have 3 girls from Alex, you're safe. You don't have to join in.
Like she would anyway.
I'll bet if I went up to my buddy Alex and really asked her,
No way.
I think she would do it.
No way.
We're looking for questions, guys.
Oh, we are caught up, unless I totally skipped a bunch of stuff.
All right, so...
Oh, I did. I skipped a bunch of stuff. Okay. At 304, Patricia Grace. Be careful whom you help. I got with my husband over repairing his laptop.
Oh, yeah.
Been offering free in-home support ever since.
Basically, Patricia, if you sleep with somebody, you have to fix their computers.
It's kind of
the rule.
Yeah.
You can't get past that one.
Okay, so Tolo would ask this question again in a slightly different way.
So Chaco Taco says it's Central Mexican descendants of Mayans. It's Mayan.
Huh.
I was going to say, it didn't sound Incan to me.
And I didn't say Incan.
That's what you stupid Incans.
Okay, so Telo would ask this question again with some extra information. Does connecting through multiple gigabit routers at a location noticeably affect sending a live video stream to YouTube at 1080p? I would still say no.
Of course. Well, anytime you run any signal through any box, you're going to have latency. No, Tolo, the question he's asking you. He's not even asking
Well, I know,
me.
but he asked, this is the third time he's asked, with slight variation.
Does connecting through multiple gigabit routers at a location, it shouldn't be noticeable because a 1080p 60 is not that big of a bandwidth anymore. No, in general, it shouldn't make an effect. If you feel that it is making an effect, then you need to be looking at what those routers are doing. Especially if it's a home router, it's easy to, just turn on stateful firewall alone. That'll cut your bandwidth by a third, right there. Stuff like that. Okay.
So, Dave says I was right. Aztec. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, he answered.
I know. I'm going with.
I'm going to go with the guy who actually has that name.
B.
B.
That's what the name means.
Oh, okay.
In Nahuatl. As in not to be or not to be, but as in bzzz, I'm going to sting you.
Andrew Hutz at 309. Mike, when it comes to cryptography, I have a good handle on which crypto systems are symmetric versus asymmetric. But how deep do I need to go for each one? Be careful on terminology here, right? So we would have algorithms that are symmetric or asymmetric. We have crypto systems that may rely on symmetric or asymmetric algorithms.
So you kind of need to know, for Security Plus, you need to know which algorithms go with which crypto systems. Kind of a...
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Like for symmetric, it's either going to be DES, triple DES, or AES. That's it. And then on the asymmetric, make sure you can say, RSA versus Diffie-Hellman versus, what am I dragging here? RSA, Diffie-Hellman, elliptic curve. That's enough right there.
Yeah. Okay. Now I think we're just about caught up.
All right. All right, so I'll tell you what, while we're, wait. Okay.
I'm scrolling. Oh, God.
Alex, Mike, you are way too self-confident. Alex, come on. Pops the Gamer at 318. For the A+ being an inch deep and a mile wide, what's the best study method you feel help? Flashcards, multiple sources? Well, again, Pops, we just answered that question. I'll answer it again. I always think people need a book, they need a video, and they need practice questions. If you're a flashcard person, grab flashcards. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't think flashcards are good for initial learning. That's where books and videos come into play. And in that particular case, if you like videos, watch videos and follow it up with the book. If you like a book, read the book and then follow it up with videos. And then you do practice questions while you're studying, and to, take advantage of practice questions like mine, which are broken up by chapter and or objectives, so you can kind of just do the pieces you're interested in learning about. But Pops, that would be the quick answer. I think flashcards are fine, but I think they're an extra thing, and that's after you've already learned it, right? Flashcards come into play. In my opinion, I use practice questions in the same way that many people use flashcards.
Okay.
Because I'll just, and that's why I do the, give me a clue, give me a hint, and then, in practice mode, you can not only get the answer, but why the other answers are bad, things like that.
Right.
I've never been a huge fan of flashcards, not against them. Multiple sources, though, I am very much into multiple sources. Everybody, I love my practice questions, multiple sources in terms of practice questions. I love mine, but it's always good to get another person in there.
Right. So at 2:55, here's one we missed from Andrew. Someone wanted to conceal a logic bomb. Where would they generally do that? How would one get into a system? And if they did, could they get it to torch an entire network?
You're asking very broad questions without a lot of detail, Andrew, so I'm not going to be able to answer this the way you want. A logic bomb. Where do they do that? I mean, that's the beauty of it. If we knew one place where they did it, then we could block that place and stop those types of things from coming into play. Now, usually we take advantage of the weak part of any infrastructure, and that is human beings. So probably my logic bomb would manifest as some kind of Trojan, which would say things like, who touched the person who just asked this question?
Andrew Hutz.
All right. So if your last name is Hutz, click on this for $1 million. So combine it with a phishing campaign to really come into play. So, we don't know where they would put a logic bomb, but mainly attachments on emails, not uncommon. Also, a nice place to click on a website, which can bring down a file. Okay. How would one get it onto a system by taking advantage of people's stupidity? Could they get it to touch an entire network? Well, that's torch. Well, the question is what does the logic bomb do? If you have a logic bomb that's designed to, gosh, what could we do to really mess up a network? Oh, if I could get something running on an individual system, I could get the system to query a local switch, and I could jack with the switch pretty hard. That could bring it down. But you got to keep in mind, Andrew, an error like that, Andrew's mad at somebody. It's like,
no, he's just studying security.
Yeah, no, he's out to get somebody. The problem is most of these types of attacks are already well patched. The trick is to come up with a 0 day, right? So I don't know. I wouldn't know where to get that.
So sad news at 3:19.
I see it. Nicholas Pratt failed Network Plus. Going to take it again on Thursday.
Good.
I was doing but the performance questions killed me. Nicholas, the one thing I'm going to tell you is on the performance questions for Network Plus, the performance-based questions are very generic. And a lot of times you're going to look at this network, or you're going to look at something, and you're clicking on different computers on the network, and you're like, well, I've never seen that exact type of setting before. When I've gone into IP settings in Windows 10, this doesn't make any sense. Yeah, but there's an IP address there, okay? So you don't freak out just because it's in a different format, an organization than what you're used to. And the other thing, keep in mind, is that we have had people take the Network Plus and completely ignore the performance-based questions and pass. So you might want to keep that in mind too.
And another thing to do would be to make sure that another strategy to try on Thursday is to answer all the multiple choice questions before you do the performance-based questions. That way you kind of just go through, get the bulk of the exam done, and then you can spend some good quality time, your remaining time, on the 3 or 6 questions, performance-based questions. So that is an option. Alex Aston asked for the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel. Link. And Dave Rush will put that up for us, hopefully, probably around 3:25, if he hasn't already.
3:23.
He already did, 3:23. Thank you, Dave.
So I was going to put the Discord link in a graphic, but that would be terrible because everybody just is probably on the computer they're going to be on Discord on. They want to click.
Right. No, it needs to be in the chat. And it changes every week, so. Yeah.
Brr.
So at 3:22, Forrest Rain asks, will you update your security class on Udemy for the new Security Plus test? And I have timing on that too now, a little more accurate timing on when that's coming. So yes is the answer. Mike has reshot the Security Plus video with our other SME, Dan Lachance, who's a great instructor out of Canada.
Full head of hair.
That's important, I guess.
Only for those who don't have it, Scott.
Okay. So they finished shooting. In fact, tomorrow is the final video that they needed to do a little wrap-up or introduction type video.
And that's why I'm asking people to join in tomorrow. We're going to spend 2 hours. You guys ask some questions, and it's going to be on a Zoom meeting, and we get it. We're taken care of, and we're done. And then so how long?
We got another month or so of post. So a little bit longer out than we thought. But
all right, so call it 4 more weeks.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Forrest Rain is asking there too.
That is exactly what he was asking.
Oh,
that's the question I just read. Okay, so at 3:22, Silvio Ferreira, I think I maybe kind of said that right. If a customer has many computers totally old using Windows 7, this customer is totally against buying new computers because of investment. I already mentioned about vulnerability. How can I help them understand the needs about new updates?
Sorry, my niece just announced Leanna's having another baby. I just got the text, which means I missed that question.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And my phone's now about to go nuts. So, yeah, we had one of my nieces is having a baby. So I'm going to turn the volume down because that's about to go ape, and let us get back to work.
Okay, so there's 2 parts to it.
If a customer has many computers totally old using Windows 7, this customer is totally against buying new computers because of investment. Yeah, no, Silvio, he's very exposed. I mean, Windows 7, what?
That's the second half of the question.
How can I help them to understand the needs about new updates? Just pick 5 or 6 examples of any incident that's taken place in the last year and explain to them that you can't protect them from any of these types of things, that it's way too... It's way too, you're exposed, you're in trouble. And firewall isn't going to do you much good at all, because the firewall is not going to stop, legit stuff that just knows how to ask the right questions to cause trouble. And well, the other thing is, honestly, you got to be careful, Silvio, because you don't want to update people into oblivion. I would want to see what they're doing with these systems. Are these systems exposed to the internet? If they're not, they're probably okay.
You could think it'd be running Windows XP as long as they don't connect to the internet.
Can you get them to go through a system in such a way that that they're well isolated? That could be something you could do too. Could they go to Linux on these systems, depending on what's happening? You know, there's a lot of times, especially if these are dedicated, like accounts receivable systems or something like that, where somebody sits down to it, opens up the same app at the same thing every day, you know, then you're probably okay.
So I want to clarify on the update to the Security Plus video. When I said update, I meant that we are producing a 601 video series. It's not like a system upgrade type thing. It's a whole new course. So
what else would it be?
Going from Windows 7 to Windows 10 on the
It
same
sounds like
machine.
a Dave Rush question.
It was a Dave
It is.
Rush.
I looked.
Okay.
I looked.
And so we have a back channel with people talking with us, mainly Dave Rush, but occasionally Michael will join in, or Travis. And some of the things they post in that are funny, and they're jokes just for us not to say live on air. But the one, but this one goes straight for you, Silvio. Infect one of their computers.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
That's a felony in the United States.
Cracked me up, though.
But let's do a competition, just because everybody's saying we're not going to have a competition.
We're not going to have a competition?
That's what they're saying.
Oh, no. Okay, so let me tell you about these competitions. It's for 90-day access to the practice exams of your choice. Usually people pick A+, if they're working on A+, Net+, Security+, etc. But we can do IT fundamentals, maybe. We can definitely go beyond that if you've already got the trifecta and are working on your Pen Test Plus or whatever. We have question banks on those as well. So it's 90-day access to practice questions. The contests are not fair, right? We try, but due to the nature of this beast, sometimes we get it a little bit off. The winner will be the person whose correct answer shows up in my feed first, okay? Your answer is going to show up in your feed before it shows up in my feed. So depending on how many hops away you are, you may or may not be the first person in my feed, right? If you want to play, you need to type out the entire answer. Don't just, Mike is going to put up a multiple choice question, and don't just type in A, B, C, or D. Type the entire answer.
Or at least enough I can figure out which answer it is.
Right, and if you want to play but don't want to win, just type in your answer and then put the word pass in. Easy enough. Then you can see just how fast you are.
So let's do this, guys. Here at the competition today, we're going to do something from Security Plus.
Since we've been doing all these Security Plus questions, why not?
So let's do a Security Plus. I happen to know this is a good question. So let's jump right into this one. You ready? So, which of the following deals with the identification, management, and preservation of digital information that is subject to legal hold? This is a data acquisition, direct evidence, hearsay rule, or e-discovery. Pretty sure I know the answer to this one, but I'm going to let you guys go for a little bit. See if we get some answers. Crazy Homebody Girl typed in the letter C. A. First, don't type in just the letter. Here they come. Go ahead, folks. Just because someone else has typed it in, that doesn't mean you can't go ahead and type it in yourself.
Tell it, man.
Just stop. Don't feed him. All right, give it a couple more seconds. We're going to get an answer. Keep in mind, guys, we're competing for 90-day access to any of the practice questions that we have. Laura Bryson, I say E. Thanks, Laura.
All right.
All right, so I think we got some answers
We
here.
got some answers.
All right, so I'm pretty sure the answer is e-discovery. Let me, so the trick here is it's identification, management, and preservation. All of this completely together is e-discovery, okay? All of these could kind of fit underneath it as part of it, but I'm pretty sure it's D. Check my answer. D is correct. There we go, referencing, it's from chapter 30 from the 601 book. See, look at this. See, we got the practice questions up. Now we just got to get the videos. All right, so the answer is, oops. Oh, I hate this thing so bad sometimes. There we
You
go.
don't. You love this thing.
I'm still, there's a lot of buttons here to press.
Compared to the previous setup.
Did anybody say e-discovery?
Absolutely. Andrew Hutz nailed it at the first on my, like almost the first person on my feed, nailed it with e-discovery. So Andrew Hutz.
Congratulations, Andrew Hutz. You are the winner of today's competition. Andrew, in order to claim your prize, you need to send an email to kathy.y@totalsem.com. I'm going to get that up there for you. So send an email to kathy.y@totalsem.com. Number one, be sure to include your YouTube name, which is going to be whatever you, so it's going to be Andrew Hutz. Laura Bryson, you did not win. Sorry about that. Laura Bryson is a troublemaker. She's a very cute troublemaker, but a troublemaker all the same. So be sure to add your YouTube name, Andrew, and then tell Kathy which exams you want to have. So you have your choice, and A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, whatever you'd like, man. Hypothetically, can I pass it to someone specific who I know is working very hard? Andrew, whoever sends an email with your official name in there gets it. So, man, my phone's just going nuts. Tough.
Your phone is going nuts.
My phone is always going nuts.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
It's going nuts.
So I've actually got my emails now down, Scott. I'm down to less than 100 emails a day now.
Wow. You know how many emails I get a day?
How many?
I don't know.
People who use their emails as databases drive me insane. My inboxes are clean and shiny. What, your inbox has like 44,000 in it?
I think I'm up to 80.
No, in fact, here, open
80,000.
up your Gmail like right here. No one else can see it but you and me. I want to see this. While we're young, come on.
Okay, all right, hold on. I'll get there.
Microsoft Edge, really? Use Microsoft Edge?
I'm on a Microsoft Surface. You gotta go with the crowd here.
Press the buttons, Max. All right. So I just want to see how many unopened emails Scott Jernigan. Oh, you only have 7,000. You know how many I have? 0. Everything gets sorted and given a home.
That's because Michael sat down with me and like made me zero out my email 3 months ago.
But it's, well, the problem is, number one, if you do that with Gmail, there's going to point you fill that up. Your combined Gmail, Google Drive, and all that hits some number. I don't remember what it is.
They're going to delete my emails?
No, they
it's
won't.
my database.
Well, they'll sit there and go, you have filled up all of your data, so do something, or we're going to charge you, or we're going to delete it. That's one thing. So that is an issue. Or what's worse is that don't even get me started with Outlook. I don't even want to talk about it. I'll just get a stomachache. Outlook is not good. We have a lot of people at my office who think that email is a database tool, and that drives me insane. How we doing?
I'm scrolling back up to where the questions were before the competition.
I think that's it.
I think we're there.
All right, guys. Looks like we're running low on questions, so let's go ahead and throw some out there, or we're in trouble. We're not in trouble, guys. We just do questions until people run out of questions. It's not that big of a deal. Are you going to get on the? Why don't you and I jump on the Discord
Sure.
today? Both Scott and I will be on the Discord channel. I'm pretty much. I just want it to be half boys and half girls is what I'm trying to do for the thing. So if you're a gal, you're probably automatically on just because we don't have enough gals in tech. And,
Yeah, I know.
And
You're very woke, Mike.
I'm just
well
gonna,
done.
No, I'm not woke. I've just been talked. Don't give me some. Let's not pick people based on. How about them Astros, huh?
How about them Astros?
Okay.
Okay, so Discord will be on there in 5 minutes or so, 10 at the most. What else was I going to say?
Goodbye,
Good luck. Thanks for all the fish.
and thank you for all the. Thanks for the fish. 42.
So we're here every Monday and Wednesday from 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time, or until the questions run out, like happened today. Dave Rush does a 2 to 4 p.m. on Friday that's based on the Raspberry Pi and Linux, so that we are learning Linux for A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus, and using the very cool, tiny, and inexpensive Raspberry Pi computer as the sort of tool.
There's a lot you can learn using a Raspberry Pi, a lot cheaper than on a Windows 10 machine.
That's right, absolutely. So Friday, the Dave Rush Ask Me Anything, or drama, is on using Nextcloud on a Raspberry Pi, as in making your own Dropbox equivalent. So cool stuff. That's this Friday at 2 p.m. Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty much all we got, kids. So I can't let go until I get all this right, 'cause people get crabby at me. There we go. All right, cool. Let's get out of here. Whoop. No. Yeah, well, I'm going to say one more thing to Silvio real quick. Silvio, if your customer is against buying, then I guarantee it's not going to be that long in the future. He's going to get hacked. And awful things are going to happen. Please make sure that this customer has backups of critical data, because the moment he gets hacked, you're going to make a lot of money. And as long as you've got a way to restore data, that's the big thing for the customer. And at that point, he'll probably... my old joke is jack the mice up and slide a new computer underneath. So it's like with the car. What's wrong with the car? Well, you know what you need to do is jack up the radiator, slide a new car underneath there. Just drop that radiator cap right down. Radiator cap. I'll get it right eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
All right, guys, we're out of here. I'm going to need about 20 minutes before I get on the Discord channel. I got 3:42, so I'll be on the Discord channel about 4 o'clock. Scott, you're on whenever you want to get on.
Okay.
And guys, I'll see you all on Wednesday. Don't forget to bring in those questions. And for those of you who sent me an email, I will be in contact with you via email today. And we'll get as many people on board as we possibly can. So we're out of here, folks. Have a great evening. We're going to talk to y'all later. Be good. Bye-bye.